We have breaking news for Tesla stock that you need to know right now. Tesla has officially introduced the all-new Model 3 in North America. It starts at $38,990. That is for the rear-wheel drive. It does get 272 miles of range. The Model 3 long range is priced at $45,990 with 341 miles of range. Notice there was no price increase at all. We actually seen an 8 to 12% price increase for the refreshed Model 3 in China. So that's interesting. The new Model 3 Highland does not get the IRA tax credit. Pretty much everything is eligible in regards to the vehicle, assembly, workers, all of that is US made, but a certain percentage of the battery components are not. And that's why the Model 3 has lost eligibility for the credit in 2024. But the Model 3 Highland does qualify for the $7,500 tax credit if you lease the vehicle. As it says here, includes $7,500 EV lease incentive distributed across the lease term. So it's not exactly the same as the $7,500 tax credit. It just gets applied as kind of the point of sale credit across the term of the lease, which is basically the same thing, but spread out over time instead of getting all of the $7,500 back right up front. Deliveries for the new Model 3 will start by the end of this month in January, and you also get 8 miles more of range on the long range Model 3 than the old Model 3 long range, which is 341 miles now compared to 333 miles before. The Model 3 is no longer part of Tesla's referral program in North America. And there currently is no performance variant, but I'm sure that's coming down the line. Tesla has also added lots of new accessories for inside and outside of your Model 3 as well. Sawyer Merritt ran a poll on his Twitter account that does have about 12,000 respondents, and he says, if you live in North America, did you just order the new Model 3? 11.5% of individuals said yes, 37.4% said no, and 51.1% said just see results. I personally said no. I think a lot of people are holding out to see if the tax credit becomes available again. That's going to be quite a drag on business owners' willingness to go out and buy even the refreshed Model 3. I went to obviously go look last night to see if the tax credit was available, and it was not. So that is a little unfortunate, although as soon as the tax credit is available, then I will be purchasing one. It just doesn't make sense if the tax credit's going to become available in a couple weeks or down the line in the shorter term. I would rather just wait, because in all reality, it's probably going to be February by the time I get a Model 3 in Michigan. So personally, I was a little disappointed to see the tax credit is not available, but hopefully that issue gets resolved quickly. Here's a chart of the top 10 US states with the most installed battery capacity. California by far in the lead. This is on megawatts, so 7,302 megawatts for California. Texas at 3,167 megawatts, and then Arizona at 803 megawatts. You could see California and Texas, well, I mean, they're basically the bulk of batteries that are deployed out there, which just shows you the kind of growth that could be elsewhere. It's not like Hawaii gets necessarily less sun than California, or Nevada gets less sun than Texas or California. So this chart says to me Tesla has a long runway of growth ahead of it in its energy storage sector. Microsoft has pledged a large 12 gigawatt solar panel order, enough to power 1.8 million homes annually in the US. The solar modules will be produced in the United States. It does not appear that a company is mentioned, so there's only speculation on whether or not that would be Tesla. Some people say yes, some people say no. Either way, it doesn't matter too much. Let me know what you think down below in the comment section. I think that would be just more symbolic than anything else if Microsoft did ultimately do a deal with Tesla. Tesla installed 606% more charging stalls in the US than its next closest competitor. Tesla installed 6,000, EVgo only installed 850. As Gregor Truck says, the more the merrier. One of the reasons why everyone doesn't buy an EV is because, well, there's limited charging infrastructure. If you live where I live in Michigan, you're not going to see a Tesla supercharger station anywhere, right? Literally nowhere. I mean, if you look at my area in which I live in here in Michigan, very limited charging infrastructure at all. You quite literally have to charge at home or you might not be able to find a charger. So yeah, we need to continue to see not just Tesla, but EVgo, all of the other competitors to Tesla continue to roll out charging infrastructure. Tesla has proposed a partnership with the city of Palo Alto, California to rebuild a substation near its engineering headquarters. Under this proposed deal, Tesla would design and install the new equipment and split the $24 million cost with the city. Tesla's CFO has already signed the proposed agreement. He says, quote, "The Tesla product represents a stark departure from the Palo Alto's notoriously methodical approach to infrastructure projects. While the citywide grid update is expected to take 7 years and cost $300 to $350 million to complete, a significant component of the Stanford Research Park project could be completed in just a few months. It typically takes 3 to 4 years to upgrade a substation. Tesla, however, is looking to finish all construction and energize its new building by April of 2024. That just goes to show how bureaucracies, so many different products and regulations just stall things. Tesla is magnitudes more efficient than the government. Hertz has started selling off its early Tesla inventory. Prices bottom at about $20,000, although we have seen some as low as $17,000. But including the $4,000 federal used EV credit, that can get as low as $16,000. So some of those $17,000 vehicles that we are now seeing could be as low as $13,000. Tire maker Goodyear is releasing a new tire for EVs that it says will last longer, available for purchase in May of 2024. This will come in 17 sizes for EVs like the Model 3, Model Y, Mach-E, and more. For the first time ever, an electric vehicle, the Model Y, is Australia's favorite car. Tesla has released a new factory satin Abyss blue wrap in the US for the Model Y and Model 3 for $6,000 and dropped prices for the other wraps by up to 24%. VinFast has unveiled an all-electric pickup truck concept at CES today called the VF Wild, which is kind of a wild concept vehicle in and of itself. I doubt we're ever going to get to production with this vehicle. It looks like a pain in the ass to make. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Production looks like it would be very difficult, but it does look cool. I will give them that. Honda, on the other hand, says they are launching a global line of dedicated EVs starting in 2026. Some of these look very futuristic, kind of weirdly like a Cybertruck in a car version, at least that Honda vehicle. I'll let you guys see a little closer. Kind of looks like a Cybertruck Lamborghini, like car form. Steering wheel's kind of different. We'll see if anyone could get to production with these vehicles. It probably would be Honda over VinFast. Let me know what you think down below in the comment section. If you missed it, the SEC's official X account was hacked. They announced the approval of the Bitcoin ETFs, in which they have not officially been approved yet. X did exactly what I would hope they would do. X safety account puts out this tweet we can confirm that the account SEC Gov was compromised, and we have completed a preliminary investigation. Based on our investigation, the compromise was not due to any breach of X's systems, but rather due to an unidentified individual obtaining control over a phone number associated with the SEC government account. Through a third party, we can also confirm that the account did not have two-factor authentication enabled at the time the account was compromised. We encourage all users to enable this extra layer of security. So let's get this straight. The SEC wants to monitor, regulate, and punish potential fraud, corruption, but they can't even monitor or protect their own X account? Well, isn't that just ironic? Nonetheless, neither here or there, Tesla's stock down about 0.5%. There is still some time left in the trading days, so this might change by the time you guys are seeing this video, but overall, slightly down day to day, and let's go over why that is. And to a lot of people's surprise, there's not much. There was the good news with Tesla releasing the Highland here in the US. That should be good for Q1, Q2, really 2024 demand entirely in the US. That's not having a positive impact on Tesla stock. 10-year treasuries up about 1.5 basis points. That's not really affecting the markets all too much either. The main focus today is really around CPI tomorrow. Throughout the entirety of 2024 so far, you've seen this mentality of we have gains on stocks, we'll sell first, ask questions later. The odd chance happens and CPI comes in much higher than expectations, and let's say stocks were to crash, well, a lot of funds are saying it's better to sell now and figure it out later. So that's exactly what has been happening recently, and that's what's happening today in certain stocks. Taking a look at what the markets are pricing in for rate cuts in 2024, we're still pricing in 6 rate cuts. The odds are actually falling today to 37.1%. from yesterday's number of 37.9%. So not a huge deal there. For March, the odds of your first rate cut are at 66.1%. That's actually up from yesterday at 62.6%. I discussed this in the last video, and we'll talk about this more as we get closer to the next Fed meeting, which is going to be January 31st. But you actually want to see the markets unprice in the rate cut for March, because odds are the Fed doesn't want to do that. So if the markets are still pricing in a cut in March, by the time we get to January 31st and we hear from Powell, Powell's probably going to rudely say, we're not going to cut rates in March. We're not thinking about cutting rates just yet, to make the markets unprice that. So the more we continue to price in a rate cut in March, the more potential problems we're going to have coming on January 31st. So actually, I want to see the odds of a rate cut in March come down without the markets coming down. That would be the best possible scenario. The 10 and 2-year yield curve inversion, uninverting about 1 basis point today. You're now inverted 34 basis points. The higher this goes, it does tend to have a negative impact on our markets. As you can see, even more recently, since the start of 2024, you've uninverted about 4 basis points, and stocks have not exactly done very well. So if we uninvert further, it's not going to be great for stocks, potentially. At least that's been the trend recently. If we invert more or deeper, well, that probably would be good news as far as the trend that we have seen lately. Most of this has to do with the fact that every time you've seen the yield curve invert and then uninvert, you've seen a recession. So as you get closer to uninverting, people start to say, is a recession coming around the corner? And that prompts more selling of stocks. Tesla's global inventory numbers continuing to go higher for the Model Y. The Model X seeing a nice little down move here. The Model S continuing to kind of just run down slowly. And the Model 3, you have seen a little bit of a pop, about 150 vehicles total, but now you're heading back lower. Typically, the lower the inventory, presumably the higher the demand. So right now, things look pretty good. When you start to see a broad spike of the Model 3, a continued spike of the Model Y, S, and X also spiking, that's when demand could be letting up a little bit. So far, you're not seeing that at all. Google Trends data, on the other hand, seeing quite a down move for the Model Y. A huge down move for the Cybertruck. You're now down to the same point you were right before we had the Cybertruck delivery event. But at the same time, the Model 3 is actually rising, which, no coincidence, the Model 3 launched in North America today, so that would make sense. But we definitely want to watch this. It's not too uncommon to see trend data start to curl downwards as you start a new year. Typically Q1 is the worst quarter for Tesla, or the slowest quarter for Tesla. So it's not uncommon, but definitely something we want to watch. And Tesla continues to run 400 different ads via Google. Today you are seeing a very low amount of option activity from hedge funds and institutions, at least right now. We'll have some finer data coming out later, but so far you've seen 309 orders totaling $98 million with a positive order value of 42%. The volume today looks a little bit better to the call side. Volume was 61.19% of total volume, and volume to the put side was 38.81%. It also seems like there is some heavy demand to borrow Tesla stock to sell Tesla stocks short. You are seeing the cost to borrow max here at about 9%, which is abnormally high for Tesla. You currently have 3.06% short interest of free float and $19.9 billion worth of Tesla stock that is sold short. The percentage of stocks above their 50-day moving average is now at 74.37%. This is lower than the highs that you've seen during the July rally. So as the S&P 500 itself is really sitting at, almost new all-time highs, under the surface of this market, you are seeing stocks falling under their 50-day moving averages. Even Tesla is now under its 50-day moving average. Now, more specifically with Tesla, if we're taking a look here at the charts, we are in this demand zone between 230 and 240. You're on the lower end side, about $234. You did hit almost the 200-day moving average perfectly at about $231.29, and you bounced off of that today. If there was a moment in which you're going to get a reversal, it's likely now. It's likely based on the CPI report coming tomorrow. If you don't, and tomorrow's another rough day, oh my gosh, Tesla's going to fall under the 200-day moving average, and it is going to get bad, and it is going to get bad quickly. To the contrary, if things start to look better and inflation is falling faster than expected, Tesla stock could go on quite a rally. We'll discuss what the expectations are for CPI from Wall Street, what my expectations are for CPI, and how this could affect Tesla in the next video, so stay tuned to the channel for that one. But tomorrow's really shaping up to be a make it or break it kind of moment for Tesla stock here before Tesla's Q4 earnings, which will be on January 24th. But taking a look at Tesla's RSI, the RSI is at 41.61. You're almost in the 30s. So Tesla is on the oversold side, that's for sure. You could see a bounce anytime now that would be, just on a relative strength basis, justified. The MACD is also curling downwards. Just went negative on the MACD line. The signal line is still positive, so that's not exactly looking fantastic either, but it's more a backwards looking kind of indicator. You want to use the MACD in, contrast to other things, and I'm not seeing anything notable here. So that is going to go ahead and do it for this video. Let me know what you think about this information down below in the comments section. If you guys want to come trade with us live in real time as well, every time we make trades, we send out alerts. We have been killing it over there so far in 2024 and in 2023. So hopefully it's a great year and for the entirety of 2024. It's going to be a volatile year at that. I think we're witnessing that firsthand. We don't have to wait too long to see the volatility here in 2024. But nonetheless, go ahead and follow the X account as well. If you made it to the end of this video, it is Michael Tyler over there. A lot of the information we cover here in these videos, especially in regards to the broader markets, what analysts are saying, what big money is doing or saying, is posted over there first. So you'll kind of get a first glimpse on some information we might cover here in these videos, and that is free 99 to do so. Thank you for watching. My name is Michael Tyler. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight.